Hi, it's Beth, one of the journalists up at Manx Radio. Thank you for downloading this newscast. And if you are a fan of any programmes like Grand Designs, maybe even Location, anything where you can have a bit of a skeet inside and outside a house, then there's an event coming up this week which could be for you. It's the relaunch of the Isle of Man Society of Architects, and I've been finding out more from the Society's chair, Martin Thomas.
The Society was set up in 2013 and we've run a number of events, exhibitions, workshops, and we've had social events, and we also used to put on a number of film nights and things like that. We haven't had any events since before the lockdown, actually.
You talk about trying to engage not only architects who are naturally interested in these sort of things, but also the public. What does architecture on the Isle of Man mean to the public, do you think?
Well, that's something we're working on, to be honest with you. I always think there are two sort of strands to that. One is the historic built environment that we've got and is valued to a degree, but possibly should be valued a bit more. And then the other side of it is, in our view, encouraging the sort of value of modern design and good modern design. And by that, I think we mean sort of good contextual modern design. So it takes account of the past and it takes account of the buildings that we've got, and it works with those as the kind of generator for the design. Well, I don't mean 20-story skyscrapers, but more appropriate modern buildings that should fit well into the townscape.
And it's interesting, isn't it? Because architecture is so subjective. What one person likes, somebody else doesn't. And it can be seen, I suppose, that, I don't know, would you say as an architect yourself, you like pushing those boundaries a little bit? I
mean, we're trained designers. We do a minimum of 7 years training one way or another. And part of that training gives us sometimes a very specific view on what is good architecture and bad architecture. And certainly it doesn't always align with the public or the man in the street. And that's why I think, as I said, the kind of contextual approach where we're trying to work with the buildings that we've already got, I think is really important and really valuable. But we've got to remember that we're working in the 21st century, not the 19th or 18th century. So building technology has changed. We don't build houses out of stone anymore. We have modern standards to meet. And so all of those things have a big impact on how buildings look, how they appear, and obviously how comfortable they are to use and things like that.
These are the sort of discussions I'm guessing that the Society has. Do you have all the architects on the Isle of Man as members? Is that a prerequisite, or is it something people choose to join?
It's something people choose to join. The membership is only open to either registered architects, so that's people who are registered on the Isle of Man Register of Architects, which you're required to be to practice as an architect on the Isle of Man, or the Architects Registration Board in the UK. Or we've recently opened membership up to affiliate members, so someone who maybe has qualified abroad, which doesn't necessarily qualify them to be called an architect in the UK, which is a protected title. You're only allowed to call yourself an architect if you're registered. And then we're also open to student membership as well. The membership is kept to just the architects and those people I mentioned, but we're trying to organise events that will be interesting to the public. And hopefully the event we're planning for Thursday will be one of those.
Tell us a little bit more about that.
Actually, in a way, I think it fits a lot with what I've just been saying about good modern design. So we've got an architect from Edinburgh visiting, and his name's Richard Murphy. He's a good award-winning architect with a great pedigree. In fact, he won the House of the Year in 2016. There's a series on Channel 4, which is always on when Grand Designs finishes, in about October or so. They then roll out House of the Year. So he won that for his own house in Edinburgh, and it's definitely worth looking up. It's a fascinating building. Really complicated and all sorts of gizmos, but it's a very, very beautiful building. Really fits in with the townscape, but at the same time, it's completely its own thing. And I think a lot of his work seems to take that approach. Also, he's done a lot of academic study on a Venetian architect called Carlo Scarpa. In fact, I think the first time I came across him was in one of my history and theory lectures when I was at university, and a lecturer showed us a short film that Richard had made as part, I think, of a Channel 4 series that he did on Scarpa's work. He's published books on Scarpa, and he's kind of well known as having done really thorough studies of the buildings. And these are really complicated and really beautiful buildings. I've visited a few of them over the years. Haven't visited a Richard Murphy building yet, but both his film and actually some of his early work had a big impact on me when I was studying and since.
And who is able to go to this event then, Martin?
So it's open to everyone. We've got a new website which has got the details on, iomsofa.org. You can find a link to the Eventbrite page when you can book a ticket through that. The event is on at the Santander Work Cafe from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Thursday. It's a free event to attend, but you do need to book a ticket.
Thank you for making it to the end of the Little Manx Radio newscast. You are obviously someone with exquisite taste. May I politely suggest you might want to subscribe to this and a wide range of Manx Radio podcasts at your favourite podcast provider, so our best bits will magically appear on your smartphone. Thank you.